There is no doubt that it interferes with human connection and interaction.
She's not really ready for my habits.
I'm a chicken nugget.
Look at that bad habit of checking.
Over one weekend, we challenged 4 parents to a controlled experiment where they would switch phone habits with their kids.
That's crazy.
After analysing 4 weeks' worth of screen time, we were able to build their digital profiles. We knew which apps they would use, when and for how long. Throughout the experiment, they'll immerse themselves in each other's digital lives, while we monitor every move from here. OK, they're in. Can a better understanding of the way they use their phones bring them closer together?
I think it's been a life-changing, really.
This is the Great British Phone Switch. Taking part in this experiment are 13-year-old Marley.
I don't think my phone use is that bad.
And his mum, Jessie.
When I was a child, I didn't have a phone present in my upbringing. We were out playing and doing things that children should be doing.
I think she could reduce her phone time.
In our family, we would describe the impact that it has on our family as a scroll hole.
You just be digging yourself deeper and deeper. The more you use it, just scrolling and scrolling. She thinks my scrolling is worse than I think it is.
Jessie and Marley both spend a lot of time scrolling, something many families can relate to. The platforms they use are designed to keep us engaged through fear of missing out.
I'm curious, we're both curious, what made you want to take part in the phone switch?
Just kind of like reflect on myself and have like a perspective of like what my mum is doing more on her phone and what I'm doing on my phone.
It'll be interesting to see what it is that keeps them engaged.
I mean, what are you doing in your phone? We want to know, Mum. There's nowhere to hide now.
Mostly going on like social media and stuff and yeah, just messages.
What about you, Mum? What do you do on your phone?
Social media is the same.
Jessie's most used apps are Instagram and Rightmove. And Marley's most used apps are TikTok and Snapchat.
Tend to have a little scroll hole, as we call it, don't we, Marley?
Yeah, scroll hole.
Well, talk us through this scroll hole. I mean, you're both guilty of this, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
Is it a bad thing?
Definitely. If we sort of zone out and, you know, we're not as present, definitely.
Because we're like missing out on stuff, like not being able to do more because we're in a scroll hole.
It's escapism, and I think it could be dropped, the amount of time we spend.
We've done a little bit of a data dump. What have we found, Dr. Marta?
You both go in the scroll hole a similar amount of time. Combined, you spend 3.5 days a week inside a scroll hole.
Oh, jeez.
And in that time, you could fly to New York, have a long weekend, and fly back.
It's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really shocking when you think about it.
Time for Jessie and Marley to switch phones. This weekend, their new devices will prompt them to use certain apps for timed intervals so they can experience each other's digital lives. They will also be set special tasks and challenges to help them better understand one another. I think the thing with Marley and Jessie is they spend actually a very similar amount of time in their scroll holes, so I wonder if they'll actually notice much difference.
These apps are designed to do that. They're designed to hold our attention, to divert our attention from the real world and get us stuck in there. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Marley and his mum respond to this experiment and their understanding of what's going on.
Property apps are like my version of Marley's TikTok.
Rightmove.
I'd like to do a renovation one day, so I'm always just intrigued at properties out there. You can just look at all houses.
I want to go 20 mil.
Okay, go on then.
All right, let's go 20 mil. Oh my. I know why you now say this is addictive, because these houses are very nice.
I told you it was addictive.
So some early indication from Marley then that he's understanding why Jessie gets so engrossed in her apps.
Yeah, it's still early in the process. The real test will be when Marley goes without his digital life for an extended duration and whether frustration kicks in.
It's their first morning of the experiment. Jessie is on Instagram looking at football videos and Marley is back on property apps.
This football video after football video.
This is not enjoyable.
Oh, I'm moving on to Snapchat. I don't understand why you use Snapchat.
Because we all have it.
Why?
We have loads of groups on there.
On Snapchat, can you do like video calls?
Yeah.
Can you? That's the way he communicates with his friends. If I took that away from him, he wouldn't be communicating with his friends, so he would be missing out. And I definitely don't want to do anything that, you know, affects his upbringing or his social time with his friends. So I understand it better.
See a pool full of black balls? Don't jump inside it.
Well, I guess this is the scroll hole. I mean, they're completely in their own worlds, aren't they?
This is what's known as alone together, where people are physically in the same space as each other, but mainly locked into their own devices.
I'm worried that Marley's mindless scrolling could lead to procrastination and forgetfulness. I'll ask him what he's watched, and 9 times out of 10, he can't even tell me what he's watched.
Jessie has mentioned that one of her concerns is around Marley's memory and whether that is linked to his phone usage. I mean, do you think they might be connected?
Well, there's a bit of debate around this, and obviously there's lots of variables to consider before making a concrete conclusion. But we know that phones can distract us from what we're doing, so that might have an impact. Also, if you're up late using your phone, you might sleep less, which may impair how you function, both in terms of emotion and cognitive function.
I've got to read something out, hang on. Got a message. Jessie and Marley, you'll memorise 10 objects. After 1 minute, write down as many as you can remember on your whiteboards.
Do you have any early predictions on how this might pan out?
Well, our memory needs practice, and it's a bit like a muscle. The more we use our memory, the better it gets. It's often adults who do a little bit better with delayed recall because we hold lots of things in our brain.
It's true, actually.
Whereas young people tend to do better with immediate. They haven't got the capacity to hold on to things for that long.
So are you saying that perhaps that Jessie might recall more than Marley?
Possibly.
Apple, car, glasses, pizza.
Oh my God.
How many do you think you've got, Marley?
I think I've done well, actually.
It's interesting because in memory tests, people tend to remember the first 3 things and the last 3 things and then miss the stuff in the middle.
I've got 7.
1, 2. I've got 7 as well.
Now, at this point, I bet they're thinking, is that the challenge? So easy. Wait for part 2. Next, I'll do the same with new objects, but this time they'll scroll for 10 minutes before being tested again. How much will they remember?
This is where you fail.
Me?
Yeah.
You?
You know when I say to you, Marley, can you bring me down the scissors from the landing? And you'll go, yeah. And then 20 minutes later, you come downstairs and you'll go, I'll say, did you bring the scissors? You didn't ask me to bring the scissors.
I'm curious to see how many things they'll remember after that time span and with the distraction in place.
Some people do better when they memorise something and then they get a bit of time and then the recall rather than immediate recall.
Skateboard.
Heavens, water, dog, burger, pink suits, red skateboard. Now use your phone for 10 minutes.
I'm going to Instagram. Don't know about you.
What is it about our phones that just keep us locked in?
It's like a snack. When we're snacking on short content, we kind of want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like we're not satiated, we're not filled up yet.
Marley, did you know there's a new skate park that's open in Bristol?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 10-minute scroll hole is up. So let's see how many of those things 10 minutes ago they will now be able to recall. Okay, they both look pretty confident.
I think I've actually done quite well.
Have you? 8 out of 10. 6 out of 10.
Dr. Marty, your suspicions do seem to be coming out correctly, that actually Jessie, as the adult, has a better cognitive awareness to be able to actually recall these items with the 10-minute scrolling break.
It's helped her retain some of that information, but Marley's struggled a bit more, hasn't he?
I think you're realising I've got a better memory than you.
In the real world, when our memory's already loaded, if we are on a smartphone scrolling and trying to absorb information, we might not absorb the right information.
After 2 challenges putting their concentration skills to the test, it was time for something a little more playful.
It's time for you to move over to the kitchen. Your challenge, bake a lava mug cake tower. Just the 2 of you. The recipe and everything you need is on the dining table. Enjoy your cakes.
Baking a cake What's that got to do with phones, Dr. Marta?
We know these two have some pretty bad habits ingrained in them. Are they going to be able to not check them?
40 grams of melted butter.
Oh!
How long did that take?
Seconds.
A couple of minutes?
Yeah, distracted straight away.
Oh, he's gone back.
Straight back to the phone.
Look at that habit of checking.
Okay. Wait, which one's which? Oh, wait, you're doing... Oh,
So
yeah.
now he's lost track of where they are within the recipe
Absolutely.
because he's now had his attention taken away by the phone, even though it was momentary.
That remained in time should be enough. I'm gonna go with that.
Oh, wait.
Oh, she's picked it up.
There is no doubt that it interferes with human connection and interaction.
Look at this. It says in another small bowl.
They're both forgetting steps because their phones are
Yeah.
buzzing.
Oh, I missed that bit. I've told us to do something wrong.
Now they've got themselves in a bit of a pickle with the baking. They do seem to have lost their enthusiasm over looking at their phones now. Now it seems to be, oh my goodness, crisis management.
Okay, presentation looks shocking, but...
Do you want to try mine? Try this. Honestly.
It might kill me.
No.
That's both challenges over. So time for a little social media collaboration between Jessie and Marley.
Let's film a TikTok.
Should you do that? Okay. I'll go again, put a pan. I'll put my head.
We just do it to the music, do you? Ready?
I was born ready.
I mean, this has just gone surreal now.
Yeah, but they're having fun together.
Right, should we post it? Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. Personally, doing that together is a better use in our time than both of us being on something else.
Separately.
Like differently, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe we could look at doing that or doing something together. Molly, leave me hanging.
Oh, love it. Love that. It's the final morning of the experiment. Both Jessie and Marley are reflecting on what they've discovered about each other.
Well, I've learned that I don't need to spend more like the time on my phone. What about you?
That I can't make a lava cake. You know, I can find better things to do in that time.
To me, it sounds like Jessie saying, I'm going to be more intentional about how I use my phone.
You know, phones can be fantastic. It's just how we use them and using them in the right way to bring us together.
I thought you were just doing a lot of nothing on your phone and you'd say you're speaking to your friends. Now I can see that. So I think it's probably taught me patience.
Is that the same with your apps?
How can parents be more across apps from a safety point of view?
Parents have parental controls that can add a layer of safety when their child goes on social media apps, but also as a parent, you are the main safety. So spend time with your child, look at what they're looking at, make sense of their world, and check the content that they're sharing.
I think positively we can share this experience with family and friends, discussing our findings and how it will benefit our relationship going forward.
Yeah, I'll probably speak to my friends about it
Yeah,
and see if I could change their minds
yeah.
about it.
That's the first time we've heard Marley say that he's going to talk to his friends about their phone use.
That's really reflective to now bring these learnings into the wider circuit.
Yeah.
What's like one promise that you would make about your screen time?
If you're discussing something, to not have my phone in my hand, there's no reason why I can't park it aside whilst we're having a conversation.
Big challenge and admission for Jessie, actually, when she started this experiment was her need to keep checking. And I think a lot of people are guilty of that. Do we think that might change as a result of this?
I think her awareness of her compulsion to scroll is definitely there, and she might need a little bit of help to build healthier habits.
Do you think there's been a change in our relationship?
I think now we've swapped, both of us realise it's not what we want to do, is it? I think now, especially doing this experiment, he can see it for himself, that it's something that he needs to change and get better at listening and being able to be present in the room.
After an honest and emotional chat, the experiment comes to an end. Now it's time for Dr. Marta and I to hear their family pledge. Have you had a good weekend?
We have, yeah, definitely.
Being able to swap my phone habits and be in a different person's shoes has just helped me see how different my mum is to me.
Jessie, was there anything that surprised you about Marley's phone and phone usage?
I thought that he was just constantly scrolling, and you know, speaking to him, he is actually being more social, so that's definitely given me an insight to that.
And what about for you, Marley? Anything about your mum's phone usage that might have surprised you?
It just gave me an insight into what she does, and she's not just being on property apps and just that, but she's actually looking at them and then thinking about future projects.
Yeah, it's great that you've both learnt something new about each other, where you can empathise a little bit.
We would love to hear your pledge.
Yeah, so the first one is spending time online together. Over the weekend, we did do some TikTok videos as opposed to scrolling.
Okay.
We're actually putting something fun together and we'll have the memory.
And then our second one was setting family phone limits.
Yeah, we said that we're definitely going to make a conscious effort and definitely try and get our family doing the same, aren't we?
What else have you got?
And then our last one is being more curious about each other's digital lives.
So how are you going to do that?
Well, we have a close relationship anyway, so I think just from asking each other, we'll definitely take more interest, won't we?
This is a really good start now to see what it might be like for your family when we're more mindful about how we're using our phones. And we look forward to checking in on you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, sure.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, bye-bye.
Marley and Jessie came to the experiment stuck in their scroll hole, but they've left with inspiration for other ways they can use their phones positively. More curiosity about each other's phone use will lead to more conversation, which will be key in helping them keep to their family pledge.